avec la présentation de la déclaration. Après cette présentation, nous allons ouvrir des débats pour l'enrichir autant qu'on peut. Et puis je pense qu'on pourra donc procéder par la suite à la clôture de nos travaux. Monsieur le rapporteur, vous avez la parole. You have the floor.
Okay, thank you very much. The result of the discussion has been compiled into 4 major thematic areas and enablers. So since it is too long a list, we tried to compile it into a table, and I'm going to present that table, which is a compiled result of the outcome of the discussions and the group works over the last 2 days. So the first major thematic area is structural economic transformation and inclusive growth. And under here, we have sustainable growth, which is about the sub-priorities of accelerating the rates, diversifying the source, and inclusive growth, which is about people-centered support to sectors and activities that occupy the most poor people, integration to productive sectors of the poor, marginalized, and vulnerable groups. Can you hear me? No? And physical sustainability and social protection, reducing inequality, promotion of decent jobs, and rural development. And the other one is agricultural, food security and nutrition, with major targets, indicators, and sub-priorities of production of sufficient food products, improved food availability, accessibility, and quality, agricultural modernization, development of agro-industry. And the other one is green growth under this major thematic area, which includes promotion of green activities and jobs in all sectors, climate change mitigation and adaptation, reduction of deforestation and pollution, improved management of, okay, something is missing, and promotion and renewal of energies, promotion of efficiency for energy production, consumption, and reuse. These are the major sub-priorities that fall under green growth. When it comes to industrialization and value addition, the major sub-priorities and goals would be private sector development, transformation of informal sector, improved distribution and reinvestment of wealth generated from extractive and other industries, closer link between primary and secondary sectors through agro-industry, development of value chain across sectors, and promote local content policies. And the other area that falls under here is economic infrastructure development, which is mainly about in both urban and rural areas to focus on water, energy, information communication technologies, and roads. And the second major thematic area is innovation, technological transformation, and research and development. Under this major thematic area, there are priorities such as enhancing technological capacities. The sub-priorities of this priority are technological transfer in line with each country's development needs, establishment of an African Technological Fund to support innovation system within the context of sustainable development, increased funding for research and development, strengthening science component of education, curricula, enhanced utilization of ICT. These are the ones that fall under enhancing technological capacities. The third major thematic area is human development. The major priorities under here are like access to universal, comprehensive, quality education, information, and human capacity building. The targets, indicators, and sub-priorities of this are improved quality of teaching, higher completion rate at all levels of education, preschooling, primary education, secondary education, non-formal education, tertiary education, sexual education, technical and vocational training, life skills, civic education, promotion of quality assurance. The second major priority under here is universal and equitable access to quality health care and improved healthy life expectancy, particularly for the most vulnerable groups. This will focus on sub-priorities such as improved maternal, newborn, and child health, adolescent health care, access to sexual reproductive health and rights, including family planning, elderly, HIV/AIDS, malaria, TB, mental health, non-communicable diseases, emerging and re-emerging diseases, strengthen health systems, health financing, social environmental determinants of health, and promotion of quality assurance. The other sub-priority is eradication of extreme poverty in all of its forms and empowerment of vulnerable groups. This actually deals with improved access to social protection for women, children, elderly, disabled, displaced, migrants, and etc. The other priority under this thematic area is improving food and nutrition security. This focuses on strategies that take into consideration climate change, promotion of environmental protection, rural agricultural, and in particular the role of women in agriculture, and increased value on natural resources and know-how. The other one is improving gender equality and women's empowerment, which deals with improving education, economic empowerment, eradication of harmful practices, female genital mutilation, and elimination of gender discrimination in political processes. Then we have population dynamics, which is about implementing comprehensive youth policies that include capacity building and provision of more and better educational and training, support for youth people to obtain decent and well-paid jobs, and access to finance and knowledge. And the other priority is improved water resource management. This includes access to clean water, access to improved sanitation services, and access to hygiene. And the other one is disaster risk reduction, which is about climate change adaptation, strengthened resilience and capacity to respond to natural disasters, and African solidarity initiatives and African Disaster Risk Fund. Access to shelter, which includes increased access to decent and affordable housing in both urban and rural areas, and prohibiting trafficking of persons and drugs, and etc. The fourth major thematic area is financing and partnership. Under this fall issues like domestic resource mobilization. The sub-priorities of this include strengthened financial intermediation, broaden tax net and ensure efficiency system for collecting taxes, long-term financing mechanisms, example such as bonds, and curtailment of illicit financial flows, efficient resource use, improved revenue generation capacity, management of insurance, pension schemes, promotion of innovative financing source, boost intra-Africa trade by removing trade barriers, and proper management of natural resources and improved negotiation capacity. The other area under this theme is external financing. In relation to this, we encourage reinvestment of foreign direct investment, better management of remittance, overseas development assistance based on national priorities. And the other area is partnership under this thematic area, which includes sub-priorities such as public-private partnerships, continental framework to solve African problems with African-grown solutions, platform for partnership, promote good governance, transparency, and accountability. The other one is strengthened international institutional capacity as an enabler, which means strong institutions create positive norms and standards that are vital not only for ensuring continuity in policy design and execution, but also for sustaining development outcomes. The other important enabler is promoting equality and access to justice and information, which means equality and access to justice and information are essential for social inclusion as well as the protection of rights of minorities and vulnerable groups. Collectively, these elements promote social sustainability. Human right for all is another very important enabler which deals with protection of the human rights of all citizens, is fundamental to their effective and functional participation in societies. It must therefore be treated as a high priority development enabler. Similarly, citizens must be encouraged to meet their responsibilities to the state and to the society. The other enabler is regional integration, which is mainly about to implement continental free trade area to promote intra-African trade. Enhance statistical capacity to measure progress and ensure accountability. And this is about strengthening national capacities to measure, evaluate performance as a vital for assessing policy effectiveness and taking time for corrective actions. The importance of reliable quantitative and qualitative data is paramount, as is the need to promote decision-making culture based on facts and statistics. And the other important enabler is a credible participatory process for cultural sensitivity, a participatory process that is mindful of cultural differences and sensitivities and encourages input from all stakeholders will help to raise awareness among groups concerned and consecutively ensure success in policy implementation. And finally, prudent macroeconomic policy and developmental states. Macroeconomic policy should aim at creating an enabling environment for inclusive economic growth underpinned by job creation. Development that is ably guided by the state is crucial for ensuring the short-term imperative of growth as tempered by long-term development considerations such as equality, environmental sustainability, and social inclusion. Thank you very much. Then I call the four institutions to come to the podium to respond to some of the queries that you have. Thanks.
J'invite donc à la tribune les membres ou les rapporteurs ou les présidents des 4 groupes qui ont travaillé sur les institutions. Mais il faut m'apporter une copie du document pour que je puisse suivre et orienter les débats. Bien, mesdames et messieurs, chers participants, nous avons entendu les fruits de 2 jours de travaux. Je voudrais, en votre nom, remercier et féliciter les rapporteurs pour la qualité du travail qui nous a été présenté et souhaiter que, à ce stade de nos travaux, nous ne discutions plus. Parce que nous avons eu le temps de discuter pendant 2 jours. Nous avons discuté ce matin, nous avons discuté l'après-midi. Que nous fassions plutôt des suggestions pour améliorer la qualité du document qui vient d'être présenté. Je suis obligé de l'orienter comme ça, parce que tout simplement, j'ai dit qu'on a commencé avec 1 heure de retard. Nous devons finir à 17h30 la réunion. Donc, comme je veux capitaliser vos contributions, je veux qu'elles soient des contributions de nature à améliorer le document. Ceci étant, Je vais commencer par Madame. Après, je viendrai sur la table ronde. Et puis, Monsieur par derrière. Madame à gauche.
Merci. Je faisais partie du groupe 3 et nous avions une formulation bien précise. Nous étions convenus que la question de la sécurité de l'eau allait être en soi un but, mais la formulation qui a été présentée dans le rapport ne prend pas en compte la formulation que nous avions proposée.
Le micro ici. La table ronde.
Merci, Monsieur le Président. Encore une fois, je ne pose pas de questions. J'apporte une proposition pour améliorer le travail. En effet, comme je l'ai toujours dit, la proposition de l'Afrique a plusieurs variations. Donc, j'aurais souhaité, comme je me suis convenu tout à l'heure de manière informelle avec quelques responsables de l'Union africaine, que nous ferons le nécessaire pour introduire la réflexion qui sera faite par les ambassadeurs de New York en vue de donner plus de sens à la position de l'Afrique. Je vous en remercie.
Merci, Excellence. Juste à côté, sur la même table.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Thank you, Mr. Moderator. I just want, for the purpose of clarity, I just want maybe to know from the Secretariat how they are going to integrate this with the one which they have already provided us at the beginning of the consultations outcome document. I just want to say how it looks like finally when we adopt it. This is one question. And secondly, of course, there are certain things which I personally would like to include, but I don't want to take the time of this plenary. But I just want to add one thing. There is one in which group and in whether it is in irregulars is indicated road. Road, I think it has to go with other means of transportation, especially in Africa, railways. So if there is a possibility of including that, that would be good. And another one, as an enabler, we would like to include infrastructural integration. This is a very important, this in Africa with the NEPAD system, major projects or mega projects we have. So that's very important to include. Finally, on behalf of my own delegation and also on behalf of the African chairperson, we would like to thank the foreign institutions which have been very kind enough to have this very important preparation and consultation. So we thank them very much. Thank you.
Oui, merci beaucoup. Je vous remercie vraiment parce que c'est devenu beaucoup plus large. Ma première question, c'est sustainable growth. Je pense que c'est un terme qui peut prêter à confusion. Je comprends bien qu'ils veulent dire une croissance durable. Mais aujourd'hui, on parle plutôt de green growth. Donc, il peut y avoir confusion entre les deux termes. Donc, voir quel est le bon terme à utiliser. Le deuxième élément, c'est food security. On l'a traité dans les deux, à la fois dans le growth, mais également human development. En fait, dans notre groupe, on avait eu ce débat. Le troisième et dernier point, c'est financing and partnership. Est-ce que c'est un outcome ou un enabler? Merci. Je pense que c'est plutôt un enabler. Thank you.
Merci pour votre contribution. Il y a la dame en rouge qui avait levé la main, juste derrière la table ronde.
Okay, thank you so much. I see that education, which was part of the innovation and technology transfer group, has now been moved to human development and has been lumped into human development. But I feel like it hasn't captured necessarily the extent of which the education issues, a priority, should remain at the forefront of the post-MDG framework. And the important points that we had raised on improving quality, learning outcomes, and equitable access, those things haven't necessarily been captured. So I think maybe we need to revise, and it would have been perhaps better to have the paperwork in front of us, because now I think I'm talking about some slide I saw a few minutes ago, and would have been really important to have it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. May show my ignorance because I'm not a development practitioner, but I'm not sure, when I see something called presentation and adoption of outcome statement and draft African common position, what I see is a laundry list of things that I would like to see. And I don't, maybe I'm sure my ignorance again, but I don't see how these can be integrated into strategic goals and objectives in post-2015. So maybe, somebody, should just tell me, is this the outcome document that we are endorsing? And will there be another document? Is this it? And, and the fact, like my other colleagues just said, that we didn't have this in advance to look at it and vet it to make sure that it